Hi, this is Carrie, and today I'm going to talk about why you should use Backchannel with your students and how. I want to start by letting you know that I teach high school, but I have used Backchannel with middle schoolers, and I have worked in a classroom with a teacher to help her roll out the use of Backchannel in a 5th grade classroom, and the kids loved it. So here are some examples of why you should use Backchannel. The first, and I took some notes for myself so I wouldn't forget anything. The first is that kids are already backchanneling in your classroom, so you might as well be a part of their conversation and channel it toward having them help one another. So they're already backchanneling by, signaling to one another across the room, texting with their phones, hopping on Twitter in the middle of class. Maybe they're even passing notes still the old-fashioned way in your class. So you might as well channel that energy. The second is they get to ask questions right as they pop in their head on the back channel, instead of being told to wait until the teacher finishes an explanation or a group is finished with a particular activity. And then often when that happens, they forget the question. So if you have a back channel open, they can type the question right in and everybody can go back and check it out later. So that's the second reason. The third reason you should try Backchannel with your students is that I found it is a much more effective way to organize the learning while watching a film in class. When I was taught how to teach back in college, I was told you should never just show a film. You should show a film with, give the kids a piece of paper with a bunch of questions that they have to answer. Students always complained that it was impossible to answer the questions and keep up with the film. Backchannel is a great way to solve that problem. It's not so crazy that they have a hard time keeping up with the film, but they're part of an active discussion. The truth is, most kids are backchanneling while they're on their couches watching TV at home with one another. So they're used to having a conversation while watching some kind of show. Okay, the fourth reason, I'm on 4, I think, right? So the fourth reason is that it's a great way to do formative assessment because you can immediately see if the kids are understanding what's going on in class or understanding the point of the film through the backchannel discussion, or you can see that they're not getting it at all because everyone's throwing questions out there, and you can stop and adjust mid-lesson to personalize the instruction for the kids who are struggling or, break down the task further right then and there instead of having to go back and backtrack later. All right, the fifth and final reason that I came up with is that you can backchannel with your students while they're in class when you are not there. So if you are home with a sick child or if you are at a conference and you can keep track of time, you can make sure the back channel is up and running, tell the kids to hop on there, and tell them to shoot you questions or comments or ideas while they're in class and while they're working. And you can answer them, and you can actually be there for your kids when you can't be there in class. So that's another awesome creative use for back channel. So now I want to talk about my favorite back channel tools. By far, above all the other tools, my favorite is Today's Meet. It's the one that I use. As the person who creates the Today's Meet Backchannel chat room, you can delete comments, you can decide whether it's going to be a public backchannel that anybody could access with the URL or whether it's going to be private and users have to sign in. I love Today's Meet. Then you can take the script, copy and paste it into a Google Doc and post it, share it with all the students or post it on your class website so that they can use it as combined class notes for that class. So I love Today's Meet. A lot of other teachers also use Socrative, so you can put out an open-ended question and kids can throw their answers up, and then you can there's a function in Socrative where after a bunch of people have entered an answer to a question, you can actually turn it around so they can read one another's answers and vote for the best one. So that's kind of a alternative form of Socrative. Another one is, of Backchannel, Another one is Padlet. So this one isn't much of a discussion stream, but they can post their questions or comments on this digital bulletin board. Love Padlet. Used to be called WallWisher several years ago. So if you heard of WallWisher years ago, it's now Padlet. I have even heard of teachers using Snapchat and Twitter for Backchannel. So that would only be if you're cool with the discussion being public. You probably would, if you're going to use Twitter, you would have to have a hashtag so that everybody can follow it. So it would take a little bit of planning. You have to make sure all the kids are comfortable using those kinds of social media. So it depends on your students in your class. So those are my reasons for backchanneling, strategies, and favorite tools. And I am done. I will see you all soon. Thank you for watching so much.